Hello to everyone. Today I want to show you how I removed rear subframe bushings from my car passenger side and installed some newer polyurethane STRONGFLEX bushings on their places. First of all, guys, jack up the car with the main jack, the stronger jack, and remove the wheel from your car. Then make sure to put the second smaller jack under the rear control arm, I mean the rear section of it, which is secured on the subframe, not on the wheel knuckle. Make sure that the smaller jack supports the control arm, and then you can start to removing two E40 Torx bolts from the car. These bolts are installed and they secure the stock subframe bushings on their places. When you remove the bolts, don't touch the smaller jack on the first step. Make sure that you jack up the car a little bit higher with the main jack. You will see that the subframe will start to drop a little bit, and when you mention it, then you can slowly remove the pressure from the second smaller jack and push it down. It will allow you to push down a rear subframe very gently, easy, and it will give you enough clearance and space to work with the bushing, because you need some space to remove them and to install them. Don't be lazy, and also remove the rear plastic cover, which is attached to the car with plastic nuts near the rear passenger jack point. Then remove the smaller jack from the control arm and use some extension with the deep well socket to remove the first bushing from its place, I mean the front bushing of the rear frame, which is removed from under, not from the top. So put this construction under the beam. The beam has hole inside. Just match this deep well socket with extension to the beam, and then before to start jacking the subframe, I mean this guy here, we are attempting to remove this, but before jacking this part of the subframe, you must put another deep well socket between the subframe and the car chassis. It will allow you to push up the bushing and not the whole subframe, guys. Hope you understand what I am talking about now. Then you have to use some heat gun. It is very important. Hit this beam very intensive here. Be very careful and start jacking the smaller jack. It will allow to put the pressure on the bushing, and bushing will be pressed out from its socket, but there will be stayed this part of the bushing, the metal part. Then you have to use some chisels, screwdrivers, hammers, and you can remove this part very easily from this socket. It needs some time, effort, but if you will be gentle, you will do this job without any difficulty. So my friends, when you remove the front bushing, now it's time to remove the rear bushing as well. Here there are many special tools available, but I don't recommend to use any of them, guys. Just be sure that you are using some wood pieces. I mean these two wood pieces I cannot say the length of them. I have custom made them from the handle of my old hammer. In current situation, you will be able to determine what length you need, but mandatory is to use some wood pieces, not iron or socket. Then you must put these wood pieces between the rear bushing and the car chassis. I mean this type. Just put these two wood pieces parallel between the bushing. Here you can see the touching point where they touch the bushing, and the top point of them will be touching the car chassis itself, and these wood pieces will allow us to apply some pressure to the bushing which is installed in this beam, guys. But for this also you must use some smaller jack, put it under the rear control arm. Here you can see where you must put it, and apply some pressure on the jack and jack up the rear control arm. It will allow you to jack up the subframe, but these wood pieces also will allow you to apply some pressure on the bushing itself. Once again, guys, use some heat gun, heat very well this beam, and the car, which with its weight will allow you to remove this rear subframe, rear main bushing from the beam very easily. Guys, you can also custom make some puller like this, but I don't recommend to do this because it needs very big time and it is not comfortable to measure all this stuff under the car. Just use some wood pieces, apply the pressure on the bushing with the jack up the rear control arm, hit very well the main beam, and the car once again with its weight will allow you to remove this bushing from under, this is removed from under, from the beam where it is installed. Guys, be patient here, be very gentle, and you will be able to do this job without any difficulties. I guarantee it. Just use jack, wood pieces, and the heat gun. These are 3 items which are mandatory to remove this rear bushing from its place. Optionally, you can custom made your puller. If you are interested, I can share the sizes of this puller as well. Now the bushings are removed and it's time to assemble the STRONGFLEX polyurethane bushings and install them on their places. For this purpose, I contacted to the STRONGFLEX and they sent me the diagram where everything is shown, but here we also have some main aspects and I will share them with you now. In these aspects, I mean which part goes inside the socket on the subframe and which part goes outside of the socket. This is especially about rear subframe front bushing, my friends. This bushing looks like this, but 2 parts, the rubber seal and the metal washer, must be installed from under the beam. Otherwise, the metal sleeve and the main bushing must and have to be installed inside the beam. Otherwise, the rear bigger bushing have to be installed in this direction, it is pressed into the beam from the under, and the rubber washer which came with the kit is installed on the top of the beam or socket, and the sleeve is also mounted from under. Now it's time to put the front bushing in its place. So my friends, the bushings are installed. I used the new washers here which came with STRONGFLEX kit. This is the rear main bushing, and by the way, the bushings need to be greased very good. STRONGFLEX recommend me to grease these bushings very intensive in the places where they meet the metal parts. So the grease was in the kit enough, and I used it and greased the bushings. As I mentioned, I haven't used anymore the original washers which were installed with the stock bushings. So continue from this step. You can see the rear main bushing installed in its place. For the installation you must use two jacks. First jack you must place under the control arm, the point which I have mentioned already. Just make sure that the bushing, when you push up the jack and push up the subframe on this point, meets the section in which the bolt is installed parallel. And also you must use the second jack here. By the way, you can see that I have mounted the front bushing in its place. As I already mentioned, I put the bushing here into the beam, and from the under I put the rubber washer and then the metal washer, and use original E40 Torx bolt here. Guys, when you make this construction ready, then you must put the second jack under this part of the subframe here, and very gently jack it parallel to the first jack. Make sure that the main jack supports the car securely, and very gently once again push the subframe into its place with two jacks parallel, and you will see that the subframe will meet the car chassis very easy. And after this you will be able to install the original bolts on their places. Make sure to tighten them with torque spec which is correctly, and I mean here we must apply 90 Newton meters to this E40 rear subframe bolts. Also check under the car that nothing is broken and everything is assembled very good and correctly. So my friends, just a little and final quick look to the final result. Just make sure that everything is bolted and installed correctly. You can see here that the grease is dripping from the beam because I used a lot of grease. In my case, everything is mounted here with the way they should be. I will now try to show you how the bottom section of the front bushing looks. Here you can see rubber washer and the metal washer are installed from the under the beam. Otherwise, now I will assembly control arm cover and some plastic covering, and job is done. My friends, I have still need to do this job to the driver side, and you know that the driver side is a little bit difficult because the exhaust system is on the way, but I will do it as well and share with you the main aspects of the job. But I think the majority of it will be the same what I have met here. StrongFLEX polyurethane bushings are installed on my car passenger side. I also reported these pictures and the final look of the installation product with StrongFLEX, and they confirmed that I have installed everything correctly. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate and ask me. We'll very glad and happy to help you and support you. Don't forget thumbs up and subscribe, and catch you in the next videos. Thank you for watching and goodbye.